Yo, this is Sukhdev Virdee, and the truth is simple: stay as the silence. Um, Welcome to this video, and in this video, what I'm going to try and cover is 15 of the most common questions that I get about non-duality, what it is, right from the point of the seeker who's just beginning his journey or her journey on the spiritual path, especially on the path of non-duality, where it's a seeker who's seeking the truth. So I'm going to cover about 15 of them, and I'll try to keep the answers short, precise, and to the point. So let's get started. So, question number one: what is non-duality? Simple. If you just understand the word itself, it says non-dual. Dual means two, non means negating it, not two. So non-duality means not two. But now what does this non-dual apply to? Is it not two of these, not two of then or when, not two of here or there? It means not two of anything and everything that you can think of or know of. It does not matter. Non-dual means the entire existence is not two, is one. And is it something that you need to believe in? No, it's the reality. It's the absolute reality. It's known by different names. The Upanishads call it Brahman. It's same thing with the Tao, or you can call it existence, Satchidananda, Brahman, Nirgun Brahman. Let's see what else. There's awareness, consciousness, existence, bliss. And another word in English that I'll give you: nothing, empty. These all point to the same one reality. And so non-dual simply means that everything that's going on around you is one. There is one underlying reality under everything that's going on around you. Forget about what's going on in the world. Spirituality, non-duality is very subjective. It's about you. So take the questions out of what about in the other country? What about in the other house? What about in this place? What about in that time? No, it's about you and you alone right now, wherever you are. So number one, non-dual means that everything that you have experienced, are experiencing, or will ever experience has one underlying reality that is there throughout. In fact, everything arises in that reality and subsides back into that reality. I will cover what all comes in that. So non-dual simply means not two. And you'll find a lot of the spiritual traditions, maybe the religions, they will talk about one. So there's one reality, there's one God, there is just oneness. It's the same thing. But why does non-dual work better than one? When there's just one, you can't call it one. You can't call one without something apart from it. But non-dual negates two. So what's left? Can't say. That's non-duality. Question number two. So if everything is one, why do I feel separate from everything else? Now, again, just keep in mind that we are talking about your subjective experience. And this is where Vedanta is so critical. It doesn't talk about anything in another time, in another place, and something apart from what you're experiencing. So everything is right here, right now, around you. So we're going to talk about that. So if everything is one, why do I feel separate from everything else? Now, you've got to understand when you say, I feel separate, it is always the I that is separate from everything else. Now, this is a conditioned identity. When you say I, it's an identification. What do we mean by identification? It means that this is I and that is not I. This is me and that is not me. So identification. So how did this identification come about? It is a conditioning of the mind right from childhood. We have grown up being told our names, our gender, our religion, our personality. We have been told everything, and we have learned to identify, oh, this is me. Oh, I am a boy. I am born up in this country. I am this. And so if anybody wants to talk to you, basically they'll call you there. And then you understand, oh, me here. In the same way that I will call somebody else and say you, that means that person. So this is a conditioned identity. We call it the ego. You can call it identity. But this is an identification that has been conditioned. It has been built over time. So I was a baby. Now I'm an adult. I will become an old man. So you see, the same I was, is going to become. It's the same identity I'm carrying with me. Yet the body has changed. The thoughts have changed. The circumstances, everything would have changed except that I. So it is the I that is separate from everything else in the world or in the universe. So if we take everything and say, okay, everything might be one, but I feel separate from it, you need to take a look, a good look at what that I is. Is it really real, or is it an imagined identity? So the reason you feel that you are separate is because of this conditioned identity of I am this. And if I am this, I am not that. Let's do the next one. Okay, question number 3. Is non-duality an experience, or can it be experienced? The direct answer is, of course. Not only of course, you are experiencing it right now. Not only that, it is what allows everything else to be experienced. Remember, it is the underlying reality of everything that you experience. So can it be experienced? Of course. So why don't I experience it? You don't experience it in the way that you experience the rest of the world. How do you experience the rest of the world? There are only 3 ways that you experience the world. Within, you have emotions and you have thoughts. And without, you have things. So your body performs actions. Within your mind, you have thoughts. And within the body, you have feelings or emotions. So emotions, thoughts, and actions equal experience of your life from birth to death. That's life. Number 1, you're alive. Number 2, because you're alive and conscious, you will experience. So what will you experience? Emotions, thoughts, and actions. And this combination of emotions, thoughts, and actions, which emotions? 1 billion of them. What thoughts? 1 billion of them. How many actions? 1 billion of them. So this unique combination of these 3 is what you call your life experience. Now, how can it be experienced? It is not a belief. Number 1, in non-duality, understand, we are not talking about faith or belief in something. That believe there is oneness. Believe that everything is one. Have faith and it will come to pass. No. We want logical reasoning, thinking with the rational mind. Make me understand how it is all one. So, number 1, the question is, can non-duality be experienced? But it is not in the way that you experience other things. It is not that. It is not an emotion, it is not a thought, and it is not an action. So you can't perceive it, you can't think of it, you can't know it, you can't understand it. You can only be it, because that is what you already are. Now, how do you experience it then? Not by gaining new feelings, thoughts, and actions, or doing something. By actually getting rid or stopping or realizing the underlying reality behind every action, every thought, and every feeling. We'll talk about this later. Question number 4. Who am I really? Who am I really? So in the previous questions, I told you that the I that feels separate, if everything is one, why do I feel separate? It is the I that feels separate from everything else and everyone else. So who am I really? Now, just if we use language, remember you're trapped by language. You can free yourself by language only to realize it was completely an illusion. Nobody was bound and nobody gets freedom. So, the I, who am I? Let's use the language itself. So, I am this. I have a body. I have a body. I have a hand. I have a face. I have a cap. In the same way that I have other things. I have a car. I have a house. I have a wife. I have a child. I have, in the same way, I have a body. In the same way, I have thoughts and I have emotions. Now, one thing to realize about all the things that I have, all of them, you will find, number one, they are constantly changing. Everything around you, including your body and your thoughts and your feelings, are constantly changing. They have been changing since childhood and they will continue changing. But this I, this I has never changed. It still stays the same. So if I have something, simple logic, I have a car, am I the car? No, I can't be the car. I have a house, am I the house? No, I can't be the house. Similarly, I have a body. Am I the body? Should not be, cannot be. Otherwise, I would say I is the body. I have a body is the correct word. I have a mind. Am I the mind? Cannot be. I have feelings and emotions. Can I be those? No. Why? Because thoughts come and go, emotions come and go. Action, then the body that I was when I was 5 years old is different. It's not there right now. It's changed. Was I that one or was I the previous one to that, or am I this one now? Which is still changing gradually. So, who am I really? Number one, I can't tell you who you are. You can't know who you are. You can't understand who you are. The only thing you can do is understand what you are not. Find out what you're not. How do you find that out? By confirming, inquiring into what you think and know yourself to be. What have you understood yourself to be? I understand myself to be this. So inquire into this. Am I really this? And the only thing you will be left with is I am none of my past, my future, my mind, my thoughts, my actions, my body, my life, my wife, my house, my car, my nationality. I'm none of them. They are all, if you come into the world, they are roles that this body and this person is playing. It's just like a character. I am none of them. So who am I really? The answer is you need to find out what or who you're not, and what remains, that thou art. Question number 5. Can non-duality be realized in daily life? Absolutely. Straight away answer, absolutely, of course. So how? Obviously the question would be how. Now, it is the underlying reality of everything, like I said, of your entire life. Your body, your actions, your thoughts, your mind, your emotions, and your feelings. It's basically your entire life. It is the underlying reality, which you are. Now, how do we experience that in daily life? Now, you'll find a lot of people who have realized it are living their lives from that perspective. What perspective? The one We're talking about awareness, consciousness, existence, Satchidananda, nothingness, emptiness, whatever. The words mean nothing. They mean nothing, actually. Literally, if you take the word Brahman, what does it refer to? Not a thing. It is nothing. If you take the word awareness, awareness is not a thing. Consciousness is not a thing. Pure bliss is not a thing. So emptiness, nothingness, whichever word you want to take, that is what you already are. And within that is what all your emotions, thoughts, feelings, and actions arise and subside. So how do you do that? How do you realize this in everyday life? You start by finding the gaps, the little gaps. If you're just beginning, if you're just starting out, the little gaps between two thoughts, the little gaps between two breaths, the little gap when you have no thought in your mind, when you're listening to silence. Start off by that. And when you start paying attention to silence, you will realize it starts to expand, it starts to grow. And for the new seeker, it can grow to the point whereby they might think, this silence is deafening, it's getting too much, I can't handle it. But you start realizing what silence is, what stillness is, and what the witness is. So things are happening around you. You may be involved. Can you step back and just witness what's going on? And you realize, who is this witness, or what is this that is witnessing what's going on? Within your mind, the thoughts that come between two thoughts, the gap. Am I still there? What is it that is there when there is no thought? You can't think of it. It is that in which all thoughts arise and subside. So the gap between two thoughts, and increase the gap slowly with practice. And then try to stay in that gap until you realize, I am what is in that gap. Same with feelings and emotions. When you're very emotional, or you have intense feelings, desires, emotions are basically energy in motion. Now, behind every energy in emotion, every emotion, there is stillness. Something can only be called moving in comparison to something that is not. Right? So if energy is moving as emotion, there must be something that is still in which it's moving. So you realize the stillness underlying every emotion. You realize the silence underlying every thought. And you realize the witness under every action that your waking body does. I'll see you in the next one. Okay, question number 6. What is the biggest illusion we live under? What is the biggest illusion? Straight away answer, like I think the question number 1, 2, or 3, we dealt with the identity and the ego. That is the biggest illusion that we all live under. And how did that come about? We have been conditioned to think that and understand that and know that. And now we take that to be the truth. So straight away answer the question, the biggest illusion that we live under is the identity that you have formed, the identity that you have created, the things that you identify with and as. I am this body, I am this mind, I am the thoughts, I am the totality of this. That identity is the biggest illusion. I did a video last week where we said the seeker is the biggest illusion on the spiritual path. The seeker is seeking something that he thinks, she thinks they're gonna find at the end of the seeking, while the seeker himself is the biggest illusion. So the biggest illusion that we live under right now is that identity that we have of what I am or what I is. And so if there is an illusion, that is the illusion. What is the truth? The truth is that what you are is the underlying reality of everything in the universe. You are that nothingness, awareness, consciousness, existence, Satchidananda, Brahman, that thou art. What am I not? The ego, the identity. How will I find that out? By inquiry, finding out, inquiring into what I am. What did I think I am? What do I know myself to be? And what will be left will be awareness, consciousness, existence, and all that. So, and what happens with that? Once that is realized, you realize you have never been separate from the entire universe. The universe has always been there. Therefore, you have always been there. You only developed a thought, an identity that this is separate from everything else. And this is going through life ups and downs. And this is not that. I'll see you in the next one. All right, question number 7. I always say the truth is simple, stay as the silence. And here's the question. What does it mean to stay as the silence? So, good question. I use that a lot, stay as the silence. The truth is simple. Staying as the silence does not mean you're going to stop the words, the thoughts, the language that you're using. That is a function of the mind. That is a tool. The tool that you have, the mind, it's the function of that. That is not you, number 1. Number 2, you don't need to stop it. You need to recognize what is the reality. Where is it arising from? Where is it subsiding back into? And that from which it is arising and subsiding, is that coming and going? Or what that is. So, stay as the silence means, number 1, start noticing the gap between two thoughts. That is silence. Notice the gap between two. I just had some balloons. Notice the gap between two thoughts. That is silence. Notice the gap between two musical notes. And notice the gap between two breaths. Silence. What can you do? You can notice it. You can't do anything to the silence. You can't do anything with the silence. What can you do? You can only notice that it's there. So when I say stay as the silence, it means remain the identity that you think that you are for the time being. Starting off, leave that identity. Don't identify with any thoughts, feelings, emotions, or body and mind and the person. Just leave that identity away and stay in that gap and let that gap grow, let it increase. That's what it means to stay as the silence, because that is your true self. So what question would be, what should I do then? Now, you can't do anything to the silence. You can't do anything with the silence. You can only be the silence. So stay as the silence. All right. Question number 8. If there is no self, then who is watching all these thoughts? If there is no self, then who is watching all these thoughts? Great question. And these kind of questions are encouraged. You need to ask them. You need to get clarification. If you're on the path of knowledge, if you're on Jnana Yoga, Advaita Vedanta, non-duality, like I said, there is no space or place for belief or faith. So even what I am saying right now, do not believe a single word that this thing is saying. It has to be your own experience. It's got to be your own reality, your own truth, your own understanding. Do not believe a single word I say. Okay, having said that, if there is no self, then who is watching all these thoughts? So the question is, if there is no one, then who is watching? Number one, the question is wrong, because if there is no one, then there is no one watching. There is only watching. Okay, so the question number one would be wrong. Who is watching? There is no one that is watching. But then there is watching that is happening. And that's where you need to inquire again. When I am silent, when I am still, when I observe, remain as a witness to a scene, what's going on? You realize seeing is happening without you being there. Silence is there under every thought, whether you like it or not. And stillness is there under every emotion, whether you like it or not. Stillness is not a person. Silence is not a person. Witnessing is that watching or seeing which is not involved in any way with what's going on. Here, witnessing. Witnessing is always apart from what's going on. A witness is a person who saw what happened. He's a witness to that scene. He's not involved in it. So, witnessing is taking place all the time. We have a thought that says, I am seeing. Again, the ego. Silence is witnessing all your thoughts, all your words. And stillness is witnessing all your emotions. So, to answer the question, there is no one who is watching. Watching is happening in awareness, in consciousness, in whatever that is, and that thou art. I'll see you in the next one. All right, question number 9. How does the recognition of non-duality change your daily life? So if you're on the path, spiritual path, I'm sure you must have studied or listened to the lives of previous past saints and sages, and you would have at least the one thing seen a common thread through all of them, that they are untouched by circumstances that have happened in their life. A lot of them died of cancer. A lot of them went through extreme pain and torture, yet they seem to be untouched by it. They would have a smile. You would have them smiling all the time. They seemed to have no problems, yet from outside we could see that terrible problems. But within them, the way they spoke, the way they carried themselves, number one, it always seemed that they're in a different kind of inexplainable bliss. That's where they are. So the question, how does the recognition of non-duality change your daily life? Now, there are a lot of people who are self-realized already. On the internet, you'll find many. I've seen many. But you'll find, number one, they too are not really concerned about what's going on in the world, in the sense that they know there is no separate person to identify with the things, thoughts, and actions, or what's going on with the person. So they go with the flow. And in the flow, what happens? You stop resisting. When does a problem occur in somebody's life? When things are not going the way I would want them to go. When somebody or something does something which makes me angry, makes me sad, or something happens that makes me angry or makes me sad. So it's not gone my way. And you're resisting what is happening. So you'll find these people who are self-realized go with the flow. It's part of the play, the flow. It's like watching a movie and then trying to say, that situation, that scene really didn't go the way I wanted it to go. And now I have anger in me. I have a resistance in me. No, you sit and watch a movie because you're a witness to the movie and you go with the flow of the movie. You may like it, you may not like it, but you're not going to sit there and say that really, I'm going to go into the movie and handle that character. So, how does life change? You stop resisting. When you stop resisting, you let life happen to you. And when you let life happen to you, life happens for you in the most beautiful way. Life knows how to flow through you. We resist that flow by thinking it should be this way and not that way. Or I'm gonna make it go this way and not that way. So when you go with the flow, when you have you have disappeared and the flow is just going on, it's a beautiful flow. It's an amazing flow. So you'll find these people very jolly. Nothing in the world seems to shake them. They don't get upset really easily. They don't get angry really easily. Or anything that is happening around them is not personal. You see, everything from the ego's point of view is personal. There may be wars happening out there, and I'm okay with that. I feel I'm okay with that. But there's a war happening in my house with me. Now there's a problem. There are people dying. I understand that. But I am dying. That's the problem. Things are happening, good and bad, to other people. The bad ones are happening with me. There's a problem. The good ones are not happening with me. There's a problem. The I has all the problems. And when that I disappears, you have no problem because there is no one to have problems. And then this body and this person flows along in the most unresisted way. So what happens when you recognize the absolute reality as that thou art? Life flows through you and you let it, you live it. You let it live through you. You don't live life, you let life live through you. And it's beautiful. Okay, question number 10. Is non-duality the same as enlightenment? Great question, good question, and it should come up. With words, everyone has their own meanings for different words. But here's an advice, whenever you want to know what something means, pick up the dictionary and read what it means. And you may go further by trying to find out the origin of the word. Many times in life, we use implied meanings. For example, I can say that I went into the kitchen and I ate everything. Now, literally, if I said I ate everything, it means I ate the tables, the chairs, the cups, the sauces, the plates, and the spoons, and because those are also things. And if I said I ate everything, that means I ate all those things. But when I say that to somebody, the person immediately understands an implied meaning. What do I imply? I don't mean I ate the table and the chairs. I mean I ate all the food that was there. So why I'm saying that is because the terms like non-duality, enlightenment, especially enlightenment, in the spiritual world, you'll find many people have their own meanings to it. If I can give you the simple breakdown of the word enlightenment, it means to enlighten. Enlighten means to throw light upon. To throw light upon means to be able to see something. When we go into a conversation, or suppose I missed a meeting in the office or somebody's office, and I walk in the next day and I tell my colleague, Please enlighten me. What happened yesterday? Or, I don't understand this. Please enlighten me. What am I asking? I'm asking him to tell me what happened so that I can see it. I'll see it in my mind. What he's going to say, I'm going to visualize in my mind. But enlighten, throw some light on it. So, enlightenment would mean not to know this or that. Realize, if I said, throw some light on it, you would ask, on what? Now here's enlightenment. Throw some light on. There's no what. Throw some light on everything that there is, was, will ever be. So enlightenment means seeing everything. Not one or two things, not here or there, not then or when. It's seeing everything. The words enlightenment would mean that. To know everything. How can you know everything? By knowing who or what you are. Okay, so is non-duality and enlightenment the same? Enlightenment is not something, gaining something new. Enlightenment is about realizing what is not, what I am not. Realizing what is real and what is not. And in the process of that, you end up with something that cannot be spoken about, cannot be seen with the eyes, cannot be understood by the mind, all those kind of technical terms that non-duality gives. Now, what is non-duality then? Spiritual enlightenment, you have understood what you are not. What is non-duality? Non-duality is the path that leads you there. It points towards that. When you have non-dual teachers or non-dual books or people who are teaching non-duality or non-dual masters, they're talking about things which are just pointing. There is the moon. There is the moon. There is the moon. The finger is only pointing to the moon. It is not the moon. And whenever you see the moon, it will not be the finger. So non-duality is just a pointer, a reminder, again and again until you recognize it, because it cannot be spoken in words. So non-duality is a path. It is a spiritual path. The difference between non-duality and any other path is non-duality has no space, has no acceptance of belief or action. Remember I said you can do three things. You can have emotions, you can have thoughts, and you can have actions. In your body, in this life, you have an experience. It's made up of emotions, thoughts, and actions. So with emotions, you can feel something. That's the path of love and devotion. God. I love God. On the path of non-duality, it is the mind, thoughts. I want to understand. I want to know. So we are not going to believe, we're not going to feel. And the path of action, karma yoga, is a different path. You need to go out and do stuff. So on the path of non-duality, don't tell me to do something. Don't tell me to believe in something. Tell me so that I understand it and with a rational mind. So I don't have to believe something. If the truth is that simple, if the truth is everywhere, every time, in everything, it should be right here, right now, in anything that I choose to point my finger to. Don't ask me to believe it's here. Don't ask me to sit in a pose of meditation and try to realize it. No. Tell me with words. I want to understand it. That's non-duality. So non-duality is the path. Spiritual enlightenment is realizing I was never what I thought. What I thought was an illusion, and the realization of that illusion was also an illusion. What is there then left? That thou art. All right, question number 12. Do I need to give up my family, job, or desires to realize the truth? Good question. Many saints, sages displayed a life of staying away from society, going into a cave, going into the forest, And many have also stayed within the family, within society. So there is no reason for you to change anything that you are in right now. Not that it will not help. If you're in a noisy place and you're trying to meditate, it can be helpful if you go into a secluded place where there's less noise. It may be helpful in the beginning, but when you realize it, you'll come back into the city and say, it was always there. I didn't need to go there. Now, number one reason, why does the place or what you're doing right now not matter at all? Because it's all to do with your identity, number one, and that identity is within the mind. So you can go and sit in a cave. Your mind came with you. You can try to go out and serve everybody else. Your mind goes with you. You can go into the temple and pray to God. Your mind went with you. You can go to the office. Your mind goes with you. The problem is not the place. Wherever you go, your mind goes with you. Now you choose where you want to sit and realize this non-dual truth. So you need not change anything in your life. A lot of masters have been, are, will continue to be in the past, present, and future, who are living normal lives. They have a family, they have children, they go to work, they provide society with something that they can offer. They live the normal, simple life. You may even not know, not even notice that somebody is self-realized. So a lot of people, the first thing when you step onto the spiritual path is, I need to buy a ticket to India and straight away to the Himalayas and find a guru and start sitting in meditation in seclusion, where I will not be disturbed at all. Forgetting that your mind came with you. And all the things in your life, your God, your demons, your boss, your wife, your situations, everything, where do they live? They live in your mind. They don't live outside your mind. So you brought all that baggage there with you. So you need not go anywhere to realize the truth. It's here, now, in anything and everything that you are experiencing. You need not go anywhere for stillness. You need not go anywhere to hear silence. You need not go anywhere to step back and witness. It's right here, right now, and that thou art. Okay, question number 13. What's the difference between consciousness and mind? Beautiful questions. The reason I'm smiling is because when we say it's all one, then how can you separate the mind from consciousness? Or how can you say consciousness is separate from the mind? It can't be when it's all one. So the mind, what we call the mind, number one, there is no thing like a mind. There's nothing like the mind. The mind is nothing. Now then, what do we refer to as the mind? All the thoughts that we have within that pertain to this piece of life, that pertain to this body, all the thoughts is what we refer to as the mind. So the mind is just a bundle of thoughts. You must have heard this from many people. The mind is a bundle of thoughts. So does the mind have the capability to think thoughts, or to create thoughts, or to let thoughts just float in? Both. You can think of something, and when you're not aware, thoughts can fall into your mind. So thoughts, what is the mind? It's a tool that you have at your disposal to consciously think of something, consciously have thoughts. It's a tool that you can use. Consciousness is not a tool. Consciousness is that in which all thoughts arise and subside. Now, you may say that you just said that the mind is a bundle of thoughts. But what makes the mind function? What gives it the power to produce a thought, think a thought? It's consciousness. You can be conscious of a thought. So when you're conscious of the thought, you can say, if the mind is a bundle of thoughts, I am aware of my thoughts. My thoughts cannot be aware of me. Here's the distinction. I am aware of thoughts. Thoughts are not aware of me. In the same way, like I can be aware of this hand. This hand is not aware of me or what I am. And the same way, work it backwards. I am aware of my feelings. My feelings are not aware of me. I am aware of my thoughts. My thoughts are not aware of me. I am aware of my actions. My actions are not aware of me. Therefore, I am not my thoughts. I am not my emotions. I am not my actions. All those rise and subside in the mind. So the mind, bundle of thoughts. Mind, what we're calling, is a tool that you have at your disposal. This person has at her disposal to consciously think. Or if you don't think, unconsciously, thoughts will automatically come into the mind. So they're not the same, and yet they are nothing but the same. See you in the next one. Okay, question number 14. Is awakening a sudden event or a gradual unfolding? Is it a gradual event? Is it something that happens slowly over a period of time? Or is it something sudden? You just within a split second and done. Whoa, what happened? The answer to that, both. There is no one way in which recognition happens. You listen to Kabir in his couplets, in his dohas. He says, a quarter of a second is enough for you to realize the truth. A quarter of a second. I'll give you the best example. If you watch a magic show and you had one glimpse of what the magician did, now number one, you can't undo it. You can't unsee it. The entire magic show for you collapses. It's an illusion. It's no longer real. Now you can put a baby in that, a child in that position, who believes in the beginning that this is a magic show and it's all real. Things are appearing from nowhere, and he has the glimpse of how the magician did it. For him, the entire show collapses. It's no longer real. So it can happen in a moment. And it can also happen over a period of time. Now, when we talk about happening over a period of time, consciousness, awareness, what you actually are, we can't do anything to it. We can't do anything with it. So everything that can be done, or gradual or fast, or instant or slowly or fast, only happens within the mind and the body. The body and the mind are conditioned. We need to train the body, train the mind to think in a particular way, to move in a particular way, to do particular actions, to avoid particular actions, so forth. Everything that is time-based is related to the body and the mind. So it can unfold slowly, whereby the body and the mind move towards recognizing the truth. How can that happen? Through spiritual practices, through listening to people, and suddenly over time, layers and layers are peeled off, and one day you get it. That's very possible. It happens all the time. The other way, whereby you got it in an instant, what happens after that? The body and the mind have to now start functioning from that point. If you saw a magician and you realized it wasn't real, now every time you've got to understand that is magic, it's an illusion. I have to start thinking otherwise. I can't keep thinking of it as real. It's an illusion. So for the one who gets it instantly, his body and mind have to adjust over time from that new perspective. And for the one who's working towards it, will get it, he has less to catch up on for transforming the body and mind. But both ways, possible, very possible. You talk about somebody who sat with the Buddha, a disciple who sat with Buddha, and Buddha had told him, I will take you as a disciple, but on one condition, that you will sit with me, listen to my discourses or whatever I am doing for 2 years without asking a single question. You will remain silent with me. And after 2 years, he had no questions. So gradual understanding over time. And at the end of it, the questioner is gone. And you have other people, other sages and saints like Ramana Maharshi, got it in an instant when he had the fear of death, that he's dying. And he lay down and imitated a dead body. And suddenly he wanted to inquire into what is it that's going to die. And he realized what I am is not the body. And that can never die. And what happened after that instant? He moved to Arunachala. He sat in the cave in silence for 10, 11 years. Now his body and mind went through, he did a lot of meditation there. He was practicing silence. All those kind of things that you're put on when you go on a spiritual path. So both ways are possible. Which one is best? Depends on you. How you want to understand it. But number one, understand that do not believe anything. Non-duality is not the path of belief. It's got to be you, right here, right now. Everything, every time, everywhere. That thou art. Okay, question number 15. Can non-duality bring peace even during suffering? Can non-duality bring peace even during suffering? So, I think Nisargadatta Maharaj said this. I'm not sure, but it's a very valid point. Pain, we always talk about pain and sorrow or pain and suffering. Pain is real. Pain is in the body. Suffering is optional. You understand? Suffering is thinking about the future or the past of what's happening. So I am in pain. I'm thinking about what that pain is going to lead into. What will I be able to do and what will I not be able to do? I'm suffering the future of what's going on. Or I can suffer the past of what has happened. Suffering is optional. So if you understand that, you can drop suffering straight away. Pain is in the body, you can't refute it. If the body is in pain, you can't say, I don't feel it. The body will feel it, your mind will understand that there is something wrong with the body. Okay, so the question was, can non-duality bring peace even during suffering? Now, when you understand what peace is, when you understand what silence is, when you understand what you truly are, it is not separate from being peaceful. It is not separate from peace itself. All suffering or all joy, remember I told you, everything will arise and subside within that one reality that you are. So if there is suffering, it's arising from that same spot. It's arising within that same reality. That reality cannot suffer, cannot be in suffering. Suffering doesn't even touch it. It's like the waves in the ocean. If you have a wave that went really high and it's going to fall down and crash, it's suffering that I'm going to fall down and blow up into pieces. And it realizes, I am water. I am not a wave. I am water. What's going to happen to water? Nothing. It will remain as it is. I was never the wave. So what happens from that point of view? It's a play of water. So from the self-realized point of view, suffering is a play on the screen. It's an illusion on the screen. It's an imagination in the mind. It's imagination in the mind. I'm talking about a cosmic mind. So before you wake up and say, oh, what I'm seeing in front of me is not what I'm imagining, but there's a cosmic mind. So for the entire universe happening in a cosmic mind. So the screen is consciousness, and the cosmic mind is where the illusion and imagination is going on. So if you stay as the peace that you are, totally unaffected, untouched by any pain and suffering in the universe. Not only that, you're also untouched by any happiness, joy, and excitement in the universe. Doesn't touch you, because all these are transitory. They are transient. They come and they go. Happiness comes and goes. Joy comes and goes. Pain comes and goes. Suffering comes and goes. All within that one awareness, consciousness, existence, Satchidananda, Brahman that you are. So, does water suffer when the wave hits the seashore and bursts into bubbles and spray? Nothing happens to water. Does the sky suffer when clouds come and cover it? Dark clouds with rain, and they pass by. Nothing happens to the sky. Stay as the sky. What happens to silence when you talk words, when you speak words, when you have thoughts? What happens to silence? Nothing. No word can do anything to silence. No suffering can do anything to consciousness, existence, stillness. So, when you realize that, not that suffering will stop. The body, the mind, the person will go through that. You are not affected by it. So, this has been a good session. I think I might do a few more, depending on what kind of response we get for this. 15 questions on what is non-duality, the most common question that I get. And so, yeah, the truth is simple. Stay as the silence. Stay as the silence.